And the hits, they just keep on coming. Sarcasm aside, the big news about, Discovery WarnerMedia merger and at&t basically jettisoning, WarnerMedia and DC and all that, getting out of the entertainment industry. More news is coming. And now there's news that CEO Jason Kilar, WarnerMedia CEO, is said to be negotiating his exit. This is courtesy of the New York Times. But, if it's in the New York Times, it's probably going to happen. Basically, Jason Kilar might be getting out. Now, it hasn't been confirmed that he's leaving or anything. But I have a feeling why that might be happening. I mean, if Jason Kilar is either they're firing him like the new manager, David Zaslav, or Jason Kilar can kind of sense that he might get fired and is trying to, quit before that happens. Basically, Jason Kilar was in charge of HBO Max, right? Or currently still is. But HBO Max, I don't know if it's really doing as well as people would want it to be. So he might be the fall guy for that. And also, he was the one, I think the main person who made that decision. I mean, it was great for consumers, but controversial and angering to people in the entertainment industry to have all of the Warner Brothers 2021 movies go to digital streaming and theatrical simultaneous release. That was a controversial decision to the industry, not so much to consumers. Consumers are like, yeah. But a lot of, actors and directors didn't like that. Denis Villeneuve, who the director of Dune, and Christopher Nolan, they were livid and they were public about their anger. And now today, the headline of this article is that David Zaslav, the new guy in charge with the merger, is saying relationships with talent will be our number one priority, right? Basically signaling that, unlike when Jason Kilar was around, we're going to make sure that, the creatives, the actors and directors are happy with us. Which wasn't, I guess, Jason Kilar's consideration. Because when he made that decision to have everything go simultaneous to theater and streaming, he didn't really talk to a lot of the actors and directors first. They were blindsided. That's part of why they were angry. Because he just did it and didn't tell them. And, they lost out on a lot of what they would get financially, the kind of payouts, if a lot of these movies were in theatrical-only releases like they traditionally were supposed to. Because of the way the contracts and things are set up. But, so Jason Kilar is probably, being made the fall guy for stuff like that. And to make a lot of these actors and directors happy, David Zaslav could be, getting rid of him. Like making him the sacrificial lamb. This is just me kind of putting my own, analysis into it. None of that's been confirmed. And Jason Kilar was also supposed to be a big SnyderVerse advocate though, right? So there's a SnyderVerse fan, a SnyderVerse ally who might be going out of the door, and that might be bad news for the SnyderVerse being restored. I made a video earlier about how I think this shakeup, it could offer a glimmer of hope for the SnyderVerse continuing. But, if one of the SnyderVerse's biggest advocates is pushed out the door, does that hope go away? Very interesting. Possibly. But anyways, let's read more into what this New York Times article has to say about it. Jason Kilar has hired a legal team to negotiate his departure as chief executive of WarnerMedia, according to two people briefed on the matter. at&t, which owns WarnerMedia, said on Monday that it had agreed to spin off the division and merge it with a rival media company, Discovery Inc. Mr. Kilar was kept in the dark about the deal until recent days, the people said, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss private conversations. A spokeswoman for WarnerMedia declined to comment. The new company will be run by David Zaslav, 60, a media veteran and the longtime chief executive of Discovery. Mr. Zaslav and at&t's chief executive, John Stankey, had met over the last few months secretly from my brownstone in Greenwich Village, Mr. Zaslav said on a call with reporters on Monday. Mr. Kilar, 50, was hired to run at&t's media group only last year. He formerly held senior jobs at Hulu and Amazon. Jason is a fantastic talent, Mr. Zaslav said on the call with reporters following the announcement. Mr. Stankey noted on the call that Mr. Kilar remained the chief executive of WarnerMedia, though he added, David's got a lot of decisions to make on personnel. Mr. Kilar Monday morning sent a rallying the troops memo to WarnerMedia staff that called the merger momentous news. He did not get into his own future at the company. I recognize it will take all we've got to keep our collective focus on the mission, the memo concluded. We can do it. He added a smiley face emoticon. So, he sent a safe corporate memo, which is what people do in management positions in these situations to everybody, just because people want news, the people who work there, like, what's going on? But, it's usually safe corporate speak in these memos, things like that. But, Jason Kilar is probably out, but he was a buddy to the SnyderVerse, one of the people pushing for it, or at least initially, for the SnyderCut's release. That's what I really mean. He's not not to restore the SnyderVerse, just to put the SnyderCut on HBO Max. And now he might be out the door. So, he was a SnyderVerse ally, and with him out of the way, who's left to be an ally of the SnyderVerse? We'll have to see what David Zaslav thinks, but I don't know. He might not be. If David Zaslav isn't the restore the SnyderVerse person, then all hope is lost. But this situation is developing. Very interesting. Very, it is extremely interesting that so soon after the last big change, a lot of these people who are in charge of like WarnerMedia and DC, none of them might be there anymore. Jason Kilar, Ann Sarnoff, Walter Hamada, Toby Emmerich. We'll see, though. Maybe some of those people might stick around, but Jason Kilar certainly might not. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.